Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 6 of Apex Clubhouse. As always, I'm Stacy alongside Ben, bringing you everything that you need to know in the land of athletics. How are you doing, Ben?
Fantastic. Thanks for making time today. This is fun.
I love doing this stuff. Okay, so you and I have been busy. We were at the NACDA convention over the last few days at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. That was quite an experience, wouldn't you say?
7,000 attendees. Room to room, just hallways packed, 3 different Starbuckses, just completely packed full of athletic directors. Yeah, it was really exciting. We had a good time.
What were some of the things that impressed you, stood out to you? What are some of your experiences from the few days that we were there?
Man, so to start, if you're watching this, we would invite you to subscribe and share this podcast with other athletes so that they can get up to speed with everything in the industry, because that's the whole reason we went to Vegas, is to get the inside scoop and also represent the athletes and our members. And one of the biggest takeaways is that we were one of the only attendees that we know of there for the athletes. And there are so many people, vendors, and everybody that's trying to do business with the colleges and the athletic directors and the programs, everybody from putting in new locker rooms to doing the turf for your fields to insurance to compliance. There's so many different aspects to the sporting industry that I don't think really most people understand, especially athletes coming in as a freshman. You've been an incredible athlete at your sport, but this whole ecosystem in college sports is massive, and we got to meet so many different vendors and athletic directors. And my biggest takeaway for you, here's the alpha here, is that your athletic director is overtasked. They are running at 107% of their capacity, and it's insane how much they have on their plate.
I think that was really surprising for me too, because I don't know that I quite grasped the full scope of the responsibility of an athletic director, because it just seems like, oh yeah, they're responsible for the athletic program. But when you break down what that actually means, that is a shocking number of moving parts and responsibility when you're talking about insurance, concession, mental health for your players, all the stuff happening in the NIL world. We met a couple of guys from Northern Iowa, and one of the gentlemen we talked to, his name was Ricky, and he is the facilities manager. And I remember saying to Ricky, like, I see you, because running the facility is like planning a wedding. There's so much that goes in to just the facility itself. And when you multiply that out across 30 sports, that there's so much happening on those athletic directors' plates, which is probably why we saw contingents from the universities. We saw 7, 8 people. We saw maybe 8 people from the University of Miami. There were a handful of people there from University of Washington. I mean, they travel in these little packs because not one person can do this alone.
Yeah, we saw so many people from compliance. They're all trying to keep up with the rules, and everybody we talked to said, oh, there's so many changes, it's just impossible to keep up with. And with all the compliance people there, they still don't know all the rules, because literally the Monday that we showed up, they had just put into legislation, into law, some new changes for the eligibility requirements for kids. They had put in the rules a couple weeks ago, and then the hockey contingency showed up and said, no, you can't do this because this affects our hockey players more than anybody else. And so they said, oh, you're right. So they changed the rules again to update, all the different sports that are affected by eligibility that are different, that weren't really getting represented in the original legislation. So because rules are changing so often, many of the compliance officers that were there just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, oh man, we can't keep up. So that was nice insight. So anybody that wants to know the rules, know that even the compliance officers around the country, nationwide at big universities, we're talking the biggest in the country, are just shrugging their shoulders and saying we just can't keep up.
At one point we were talking about rules, and somebody said, what rules? Because it does feel like that. It feels very wild, wild west. It feels like they're plugging the holes as they're sailing the ship. and trying to keep everything buttoned up, and yet at the same time they're introducing new things without necessarily thinking those things all the way through. So from a compliance perspective, that was really interesting, and it's one of the features on our app, so Flex Out Apex, that you get a curated news source. So it's the world of sports, and it's for you. So we pull and scrape every single day anything that is applicable to you and to your sport. So NIL changes, eligibility changes, rule changes, because there are so many. And those notifications come straight over to you. So you're never behind the eight ball. You never think like, oh, I didn't know that.
And because we work with all the different sports and athletic programs around the country, that's where I get my news. I scrape from our own news to find out what, programs are doing and what athletes are doing what. And so that's where I go for our news. So
it was really fun to be in some of these conversations with different people and know exactly what was happening. And the only reason we knew is because we got the morning compliance update. So that was really fun for us.
Yeah.
I also think it was really interesting to listen to just how many people were doing fundraising at the convention when we met so many people from different programs, institutions, and their main focus, like, what are you here this weekend to accomplish? And it was to talk about fundraising.
Tons of fundraising. We ran into the guys at Davidson, and if you're not familiar, Steph Curry's from there, and so he's very involved, and he's funding a lot of their programs. And they said it's amazing to have him involved, and they're still out fundraising from alumni and boosters, and they're funding their program through donations, as are 90% of the rest of the country. And we talked to a couple Arizona State folks, the Arizona crowd. They were just, Arizona State just got a donation from the Sweetie family for $10 million, and they're not stopping. That's just for the football program. So they're hiring right now people that can go out and talk to wealthy alumni and get them excited about that specific program, whether it's baseball or tennis or golf or whatever, and get donations from alumni from across the country that can come back and support the program. So this is where all the athletic budgets are the gaps are being filled, is with wealthy donors.
Well, we had a lot of marketing departments there too. Again, when Ben and I attended this convention, we thought that this was just going to be athletic directors, and we were blown away by the number of affiliates that were also there. So it was the national athletic directors, and then also and affiliates. And that and affiliates little additive was, everybody. We met a guy who does D1 designs, and he does all the locker rooms. And of course somebody does locker rooms. Of course somebody designs that space. But you never consider who that person is. And so we met Justin and his team, and I was like, oh, well, obviously. And then to talk about that niche. But the marketing departments that were there for University of Arizona and for a handful of other schools, bear down my cats. It's fun because and the Davidson guys were also in the marketing department, and it's so interesting because they're just thinking how do we push our school forward? How do we get more recognition? How do we drive our program? How do we build the reputation? How do we design and create opportunities within our university?
Yeah, we ran into the communications director from CU Boulder, the Buffaloes, and he had talked about how he's doing data analytics, statistics, and curating social media for the school. So he's out there every day trying to get content for the school to share it with the program, so that they can promote different programs and whatever. And so that's super interesting. And he's looking to work with athletes all the time. So if you're an athlete, reach out to your communications director and make yourself available, because they're looking for content, and if you can provide it, you're in. It's like if you're friends with what's it called, your yearbook. If you're friends with the yearbook committee, you're gonna be in the yearbook, because they have a camera in their hand and you're standing there. They're gonna click some pictures. So something to take away from a endorsement standpoint.
And we also met, I think that you wanted to talk a little bit about some of the insurance guys and some of the attorney groups the representation groups that we met as well.
Yeah, years ago, somebody had said, you have either never been sued, or you've either never been sued or you're about to, something like that. And I thought, no, I'm never going to get in any kind of need of legal stuff. And it's just, when you're 20 years old, you forget that this landscape has tons and tons and tons of legal ramifications, from everything from entering the portal and breaking a contract on your NIL deal, or your scholarship being voided because of some ancillary thing that you didn't know existed, or all kinds of different things that come up, especially this one little clause on page 9 of a contract that you didn't read. And so Hausch Blackwell was there, and they're handling a lot of the cases for athletes in the NCAA space. They were a sponsor there. We didn't get to talk to them, but I have actually a couple calls into them to get some clarification on stuff for our athletes for this specific purpose. But they're really representing the athletes, and these big institutions have so much money, and so they have their attorney teams, and athletes need represented too. And Hausch Blackwell is there, and it's a nice thing to start to kind of wrap your mind around if you're an athlete, that eventually you will need some kind of representation for something, and it might not be sports, it might not be while you're in college, but a legal resource is important to have. It's just like insurance. You don't need it until you do. So if you have a legal resource, and that's what we provide, we want all of our athletes to get at least have their mind wrapped around the fact that they may need an attorney for some kind of contractual thing at some point. And so that's one of the things that we really noticed was floating around the convention up in Vegas.
Well, let's take a second and learn a little bit more about the Apex features.
Welcome to Apex, the premier private membership association built exclusively for the modern athlete. This is your command center, designed to elevate your career, your brand, and your future. Take control of your earnings from day one. Our brand partnership tax calculator instantly estimates your liabilities, mapping out quarterly payments so you are never caught off guard. With the Athlete Budget Builder, financial literacy becomes second nature. Track your guaranteed income, manage expenses, and watch your monthly surplus grow as you build real wealth. Are you truly ready for the next level? Assess your professional readiness dynamically. Track everything from contract literacy and representation to player rights and health coverage. Unlock your market value. Our social media growth planner builds a customized 3, 6, 9, or 12-month strategy for your sport, providing content pillars and roadmaps to attract premier brand partnerships. Stay ahead of the game with The Edge. Access curated industry insights and leverage our proprietary AI Envoy to analyze complex contracts and sports business news instantly. Enjoy exclusive member-only perks from the world's leading brands, elevate your profile, build your inner circle, and claim your edge. Welcome to the Apex family.
Every time I think about all the different features that our membership has to offer, I'm just so darn proud. I'm just so proud. And I know that we mentioned this again, like earlier on, but with 7,000 members in attendance, the ecosystem, the universe that makes up athletics is massive. And talking to the insurance guys and the turf guys, the design guys and the concession guys and the facility guys and the marketing guys and the mental health guys and all of these different people, they are all clamoring for the ear of the athletic director, and they want to work with the school. They want to work directly with the institution. They want that contract. They want the contract with ASU. They want the contract with Clemson. They want the contract with Michigan. And I feel like it gave us a tremendous amount of pride to be there for the athlete, for the player, for the gymnast and the shot put kid and the hurdle guy that just broke the world record. We're there for the swimmer and the diver, for the dance team. Like, we're there for everybody. And absolutely, we're there for football, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball. Like, we're there for the marquee sports too, but we are there for the 37 sports available in college athletics. We are there for all of them.
Well, and a massive shout out to you, Stacy, because you developed and designed all the different features that are on our app and are helping our athletes. So one of my favorite features is the discount section. So it's all the discounts that college athletes are already buying. So it's the Adidas and the Mattress Firms and cleats and football pads and stuff that you're already, and protein bars athletes are already buying. So we made a special section in there for the athletes to get benefits and discounts. I'm really proud of that one. What's your favorite feature?
Oh, the social media design, I think, is 20 out of 10. And we're going to talk about Altius Sports in a minute. But in an interview that they did recently, they talked about how important personal branding is. And that happens in being involved in your community, absolutely, but also like having a social presence. And you talk about that a good deal. And that's what Ice9 Consulting is about. But also, you have to have a plan. You know, it's easy to say like, oh no, go and like put yourself on social media and post everything and be involved. But you and I both know that it's just not that simple. There's an algorithm to it. There's an art to it. There's a curated element to it, making sure that you're using the right keywords and hashtags and how often should I be posting and what time should I do those things. And our social media strategy, you get to put in where you are currently with your follower count, what you want it, where you want to be. You also get to choose what your goal with social media is. Are you trying to monetize? Are you trying to create brand relationships? Are you trying to even make yourself more visible through our own Apex matching software for those brand deals? And then what's your time frame? And then as soon as you put that in, which takes seconds to do, then our AI Envoy creates an entire plan for you that is customized to you, your sport, your school. And so it gives you all the proper hashtags to use, keywords to use, the little niche hashtags that you ought to be using, how to tag people. The detail to it is phenomenal. I'm remarkably proud of that. I mean, we charge $10 a month to be a member, and between the social media strategy where you would pay somebody $200 to $500 a month to do your social media for you, I mean, like, what a bargain, right? Like, what a freaking steal on top of like the resume build out and all the discounts. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me for why people should be a member. I'm ridiculously proud.
I wish I had this 30 years ago. Trying to get my my resume put together when I was fresh out of college for my first jobs, and there was a very specific template that had to be followed, and so I was trying to find all the other people in my industry that were putting a resume together. It uses the AI to do it for you. It knows you because you've put in your personal information, and it just builds you out. Whether you want to go into finance or you want to be an athletic director when you get done with school, or you want to go into personal training, whatever, it just builds you a resume in like 10 seconds, and it just knows you. It just does it like that. I was like, oh, if I had that 30 years ago, man, just what an insane time to be alive.
And to piggyback off of what you're saying, Ben, is that it doesn't just know you and doesn't just build you a professional resume just based off your academic background, but off of your athletic background, because that's what so many of you have devoted your lives to. You've gone to the early morning workouts, you've suffered through injuries, you've been a team leader, you've done all sorts of things inside your sport. Like, you have grown and developed as a person that would be a phenomenal employee in the marketplace, like the job market, but you need to be able to transition and translate your academic, your athletic history into a professional resume. And we do that, and we take your entire athletic background, convert it into business speak, professional language, and then not just like give you something to copy and paste. You get the whole damn resume. Like, you get the full Word document ready to go, print, submit, get it done. So yeah.
And we know firsthand, kids that are a freshman or sophomore in high school, you don't have any work experience because you've been putting all your time into sports, and everybody seems to want work experience. Well, how do you get work experience when you don't have any? So this really takes your athletic career, turns it into work experience, because you've been a leader, you've been working hard. It just hasn't been at a 9-to-5 job somewhere while you're going to school and playing sports. And now that you're looking for a job and they want work experience, this AI knows that and builds it into your resume to make it show that you are a very trustworthy, reputable, hardworking, ethical human being worth hiring. And you can be proud to turn this in and say, look, I may not have worked a 9 to 5, but I have a ton of experience, and you're, handing a resume over you can be proud of, and that they can't just, they're not going to discard.
So those are a lot of our features. And one of the questions that we got over the convention was, what's the difference between us and Opendorse? So if you were given that question, how would you respond to that?
Well, so Opendorse, they do NIL deals, and everybody's pretty much familiar with those. And Opendorse is a great program. We like it. We hope you guys, as athletes, as members, join Opendorse and be involved with them. But we want you to go in with eyes wide open. It's free to set up a profile. Just know that the majority of their of their vendors that want to do NIL deals want big name, high profile people, typically people on the football team and the basketball team that are nationally known, because they have national brands. They have 39 of the top Fortune 50 brands in the country. So they're doing Adidas, Nike, Canes. They're the ones that you watch TV on the World Cup, and those are the companies that they have deals with. So that's phenomenal. But if you're not on the football team, if you're not quarterback on Michigan, you're probably not going to be getting a whole lot of deals from them. But what we do is allow that athlete to have a card and share that card with local vendors, small mom and pop restaurants, barber shops, tattoo parlors, roofing companies, and you promote your local businesses, and they get exposure to the school through you. And so when you post about them and how much you like their services, they pay you directly. We don't touch the money, and we don't take a cut. So it's $10 to be a member with us, but this is the benefit that you get, and you get to promote yourself, and the businesses in the community get to be associated with you, and that's what they're paying for.
So let's be a little bit more granular about this process. So you get your membership card, and of course mine's in my wallet because I keep it with me all the time, but it's a tappable business card. It's steel, right? So on the back side, you've got your QR code, or on the front side, there's a chip in there, and you tap it on a phone, and then it takes them to your Apex profile. And on that profile, it has your pertinent information, right? We're not a gallery. We don't have a bunch of videos and pictures. You've got all of that in other places. But it gives them your contact information, your social media direct links, and any other profile links that you want to have associated with your account. So if you've got a Max Preps account, if you've got an, is it NCSA, the NCSA account, or a Perfect Game account, whatever you might have, those links as well. And that's how, when Ben's saying, like, you could tap your card to the proprietor of a business and say, like, keep in touch with me, that's how they're going to keep in touch with you. You're giving them your information just through a tap, which makes it so much easier. Now, that's one way that you can directly work with a vendor. The other way is through our actual vendor marketplace, where our vendors post jobs. They post work. And then if we think that you're a good match, if you match their description, you're going to get that directly sent to you. You can also just go apply for it on your own. You can check the job board and you can apply for it. And then our vendors get an opportunity to review, to vet, to interview, and to hire directly through the app. And I remember having one conversation with somebody that does travel. And we can circle back to the travel group, but they said, like, what's the difference between you and Opendorse? And we explained it. And one of the biggest flexes that we got to say, but we don't take anything. We don't take 10%, 15, 20% of whatever the deal is. If you get a gig for $500, you get $500. We don't take $50 of that. We don't take a penny of that. That's a relationship between you and the brand. We're just the vehicle to introduce you guys to each other.
Yeah, and this is one of the big distinctions too. We want to make sure that college coaches and athletic directors know that this is your association. This is your rights to promote yourself. It has nothing to do with the school, in the sense of NIL approvals, or you don't have to register for anything. You don't have to be approved for anything. you're out to lunch with your buddies on a lunch break and you like the sandwich shop that you're at, and the owner comes over and says hi, you say, hey, I'm on the track team at Arizona State. I would love to work with you guys. Can I promote you? Here's my contact information. Let me know if I can post for you and we can work something out. It's that easy. There's no selling involved. It's just hey, I'll promote you. Do you want me to do a post for you? I'll just charge you like $100. And a lot of athletes are getting like free meals, and, just like it's a barter system to where, you eat for free when, every time you come in, you just they just comp your meal so that you can promote them. And so you work out whatever you want to work out with them. You don't owe us anything. We just love that you're a member, and we'd like to provide as much resources as we can and as many things as we can for you, and empower you to promote yourself and get paid.
Since we're talking about vendors, let's learn a little bit more about our vendors for those watching, and then we'll come back for our final wrap up. Well, since that one doesn't have volume, I'll have the right one for us next time around. I don't know how I mixed that one up, but that's okay. We gave a really good explanation to our vendors, and I don't want you guys to listen to something that doesn't have an explanation to it. So last couple of things that we want to talk about is Altius Sports, and then how you become a member and a vendor.
Yeah, so let's talk about Altius Sports. We ran into one of the schools that has been using Altius Sports, and we want to make clear that because they have an exclusive agreement doesn't mean that you can't be part of our membership. So we don't encroach on anything that Altius does. We love what they do. I just listened to a great podcast by the president, Andrew Donovan. He's a phenomenal resource for exactly what we're doing. And Altius Sports comes into a college program. They advise athletic directors how to run their program, how to generate more revenue, how to be more efficient with their revenue streams. So they'll say, hey, when you come into the football stadium, there's a bottleneck and that's causing a backup, and we could get more people in and get more traction towards the concession stand, and we can run a ticket program a little bit better. So he will make recommendations to a school on how to do that more effectively. And so they do a lot of those sort of things for a school. And one of the things that he said to one of the tennis guys was that 50 tennis programs around the country got cut last year. So it's a non-revenue generating sport. It's not football program, big money, big spenders, big vendors spending money. And, when you pay to go to a tennis match, it doesn't even cover, the cost of the venue for the day, or the insurance even to cover for the insurance for the program. So what he recommends, and what we do too, is that you really need to be proactive from an athlete standpoint to go raise money for your program. If you're in tennis or golf or the Olympic sports, so swimming, track, your program is potentially on the chopping block. And if it's not going to be cut, then the athletic directors are having conversations on what to do with your program to either make you more viable financially, or bring some money to the program. So they're taking money from somewhere and they're giving it to these programs. So just being aware that Altius does a lot of revenue generating enhancements for school, which is awesome. And we help with the part that they don't really help with, which is empowering the athlete to go individually, go bring money to your program with the athletes themselves. So anyway, that's Altius. I really like him. But several of his podcasts are out there talking about what is needed is actually what Apex really offers, which is empowering the athletes to raise money for their program directly.
Well, in that fundraising conversation, and you just mentioned the cost to rent the venue. One of the things that we did hear during the course of the convention was people renting out spaces.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that income?
Well, it's interesting. I think it's something that every athlete should keep in the back of their mind, is the main revenue generating source for several of the smaller colleges in town, especially ones in smaller towns under 150,000 people in your town, is that the main revenue comes in from renting out those venues to other businesses during the week or on the weekend. when they're not using them for school, for, ballroom award ceremonies or whatever, they're renting it out to, for a wedding or a company to do a meeting. So that's where a lot of the revenue is coming from to fund your college program. And I didn't realize that. And I've been paying attention for quite a while. So that's, an interesting insight that we got from the athletic director conference.
All right. Well, as we wrap up, we just want to talk about how to work with our vendors, become a vendor. What do we need to know?
So to sign up, it's apexathletes.ai/vendors. And you go on, you sign up, and you become a vendor. It's $50 a month to be a vendor. And we'd love to have you. When athletes sign on, they see your discount. They see that you're promoting them, that you want to work with them, and that you're giving a discount to them. So we're really looking forward to working with nutritionists, with athletic trainers, protein supplement, energy drinks, sunglasses brands, watches. We have lifestyle brands. So a lot of for our tennis players and golf athletes. So whether you have golf clubs or tennis rackets or some kind of training apparatus for athletes to be faster or help with recovery, we'd love to have you, and it provides a ton of value for our athletes.
Well, everybody, this is our episode 6 of Apex Clubhouse. To all the athletic directors out there, I hope you enjoy your weekend, and man, do you deserve it. There's never a shortage of things happening around the world of athletics. We are delighted to be able to be part of that, bring you attention on some of those things. If you haven't joined us yet, the apexathletes.ai is right there at the bottom banner of our podcast here. So join us, be a member, share this with everybody. Share this with your friends, your brothers and sisters, anybody who's in athletics at all, anybody that wants to have those opportunities. We want to have you as a member. And if you have suggestions of things that would make it better for us, if there's something else that we ought to add into our app, just reach out, let us know. We'll see what we can do to get that added.
Just keep in mind, it's June. You're not in school. If you are, you're taking summer school. So now is the time to start really working on the posts, on your social media content. Show yourself working out. Show yourself on vacation. Wherever you're at, just start posting. You need to be posting more, and the quality doesn't have to be great initially. If you're uncomfortable, I would just say get over it and just start making more content. And that's really, truly the way to hack the algorithm to get more views so that you could be more valuable to a brand and in the end, command more dollars to the people that you'll be promoting and helping out. So,
all right, you guys, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks, guys.